Hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day, Love Day, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is the XP Billionaires Valentine special. It's going to be full of love. It's going to be full of games because we all love games. This is Ray
Woo!
Fagram. Yeah, this is Ray Fagram. And I am the host of the XP Billionaires podcast. I am joined by my hosts, Sky Knight and Irene Rogue, who you're all already familiar with. But we have a very, very wonderful surprise for all of you today. A couple of weeks ago, we had a guest on our show. We had Mel, the feminist gamer. And we enjoyed that recording so much that we decided to invite Mel to be a part of our regular XP Billionaire family. So, Mel, I want to welcome you back to the show and that you're going to be here a little bit longer than we thought.
You like me. You really like me.
We absolutely do. We
Yes.
do. But before we do that, as all of you know, we use very fun tabletop role playing style names for our personas here on the show. You need one of those. So, by the power vested in me as an XP billionaire, I hereby dub thee Mel Zerker.
The Berserker. Yes, I approve.
Would you like the Mel Zerker as your official title? I'm willing to grant you
Ooh. Ooh. Yes. You gotta add to the if you have the
that.
option, right? That's the goal in life.
Very well. Such is granted. You are the Mel Zerker. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. So this is the fun news out of the way. Now, I do have some unfortunate news for our listeners as well. Our transcriber, Hannah Bard, has decided to leave the XP Billionaires in their role of transcriber. Now, they'll still be a part of us. They're never leaving whatsoever. So definitely you want to keep up with them on their Twitter, XP underscore hobo. Is the title for that. So definitely check them out. And I know you're going to be listening to this episode, so I do want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for all the work that you've done. It will be remembered. And it will always be mentioned on the show. So thank you very much for that. That being said, for the foreseeable future, we'll be putting a bit of a pause on transcripts. We're going to see what we can do about either finding another transcriber or figuring something out for that. So while they won't be coming right away with our new episodes, they will be coming in the future. We'll figure something out. Don't you worry. All right. Well, with that out of the without that out of the way, let's have some fun with our Valentine's Day special today. Honestly, and that's really all this is about. We're gonna have some fun little questions, fun little topics related to Valentine's Day, to romance, to love, and of course, we're gonna put that in with our RPGs. So it's gonna be silly, it's gonna be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So there's really no other way to lead into it. So let's just have at it. So, my first question for everybody: who is your RPG Valentine this year? So, I'm going to start with that one. Just why not? I'm going to humiliate myself first more than anyone else. So, my Valentine from an RPG is Emma Milstein from Trails of Cold Steel. What have we got here? She's sweet, she's caring, she's warm, and she has sexy nerd glasses. Like, there's what more could I ask for in a video game Valentine? Plus, she's also a witch, so I'm sure she knows a few adult spells to make Valentine's Day even more special, if you get my meaning. I think that'd be nice.
Womp womp. I'm always on hand with the sad trombone noises, just saying.
And we thank you for it. We do. But that being said, you brought this on yourself. You're next. So who is your Valentine?
Well, I'm going with Arnis from Knights of Azure. What I find really attractive about Arnis is that she's a total badass, yet she is so unbelievably kind and calm. She's out there slaying demons and killing things left, right, and center. And then when she's with people she likes and loves, she's kind, loyal, calm, just an incredibly chill person. And I don't know, that dichotomy is sexy. I just have to put it out there. So, yes, Arnis, she's awesome.
That she is. All right, Irene, what about you?
I'm going to stare blankly in demisexual at this question because, I've never actually been remotely interested in dating a video game character as myself.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. It's something I've actually come to I've struggled with even just for myself. I don't tend to figure out that I'm interested in people until I know them very, very well. And there's got to be that emotional connection. So that I don't know. It's hard to explain. I struggled a lot with this question.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Mel Zerker, who have you got on your list?
Yes. Also a very hard question for me. I'm going to go with Alphen from Octopath Traveler, even though I haven't quite finished it yet. I have a thing for super sweet healers who just want to help people and just will do it regardless of the cost and do it for free and just help out people who need it. And I also really like him because he's really good at acknowledging when he doesn't know something. There's several points in the game when he doesn't have the solution or can't help someone, or he sees another healer who knows something he doesn't. And he's really good at acknowledging that strength in them and asking to learn from them. And I really appreciate that about him. And I mean, just in general, I like a character that can, do anything in a party. As much as I like devoted healers, I really like that he gets a little bit of he can be a fighter if you want to.
Yeah, he's a good character. I quite enjoyed his chapters, even if I couldn't quite figure out how to make him work in a party. I really enjoyed him as a character, so I can get that.
Yeah, he's pretty fun. I had him working along with Cirrus, and they had a pretty good synergy between hitting something really hard with an axe, which I also really like as a detail that he's just amputates things as his weapon. So yeah, he can have some good chemistry, but you really have to get those secondary skills jobs in there.
It's not very healer standard. I like it.
Yeah, they didn't lean on a cliche with him, which I really liked.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't convince me that he's not dating his childhood best friend. You can't convince me that he doesn't carry his bag with him everywhere and think about him constantly because they're in love.
I could see it. I ship it.
We'll get there.
And you're gonna take that away from her? Man, you homewrecker.
Hey, I'm not going to take it away. We can all just be fun healers together. It'll be a great time. Great time for all.
Fair enough. All right. So the next question I thought we would talk about: what is your favorite romantic plot or canon pairing in an RPG series? So you can pick either or. It's all good. I chose a pairing just because I absolutely love these two. I chose Estelle and Joshua from Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me on this one. These two are just so cute, you can't help but forgive the fact that Joshua was adopted. These two basically grew up together for several years, and while Joshua kept very stoic regarding his feelings, he really does truly love Estelle, and that becomes more and more apparent as the series progresses. Now, Estelle, on the other hand, definitely spends the entirety of the first game with the whole high school girl crush, trying to deny it, the whole nine. But it was the ending of the first game and then the events that actually started the second game really, really cemented her feelings. She loved him and she was willing to do everything to make sure that they could be together again. even after she found out the truth about who he actually was, which was kept from her both by Joshua and her father, Cassius Bright.
Yeah, I can't wait to play these games. There's just so
I,
much to do.
I, I know, like I hate the fact that like so far, like as far as I know, I'm the only one who's been playing through this series of games, and all I can do is continue spreading the word of the Trails series. Again, it's an entire world. There have been for one, two, three, four, five, so 9 games total in the series that I can think of off the top of my head, and it's the same world, it's the same political structure, everything shifts, it's so beautifully done, and all of the romantic options in this series are fantastic, and oh everyone needs to play these. I cannot stress this enough. Trails in the Sky, Trails of Cold Steel, Trails of Azure, and Trails of Zero, if and when they come out here in the West, the upcoming Trails of the Beginnings, like, oh, so much amazing. And all I can do is tell you, if you're jonesing for a good traditional RPG series that will set you apart for the rest of your life, please start playing these games.
Fair.
Yeah. On that note, Sky, who is your plot or pairing?
I went with Alice and Yuri from Shadow Hearts 1 and 2. Now, there's not too much I can say here because a lot of really essential plot details are involved in this. But the rough gist of it is Yuri at the beginning of Shadow Hearts 1, he's a real rough and tumble kind of guy, had a really hard life. And he really just needed to have someone give a shit about him. And Alice gave a shit, made him care about life. And then, well, things happen, and you realize that Yuri was forever changed by Alice's presence in his life, and the ramifications of that for how his life went forward is just fascinating to watch. Their story transforms these 2 games, which are otherwise about fighting nightmarish demons and horrors and evil sorcerers and, that sort of phenomenon. It turns it into a transformative love story. And it really, really stuck with me. And it's not necessarily completely apparent the whole way through. Like, these games in broad strokes are formed by that relationship. But when you're down in the dirty fighting monsters and shit, you don't initially feel like this is, that this is a love story. But by the end of the second game, you're just like, holy shit, this was a love story. Fascinating pair of games.
Oh, awesome. That's yeah, that was what I was honestly expecting from you to actually pick. I kind of predicted that one, but of course I say that in hindsight after you've already told me what it is, but oh well, maybe I'm just a poser who is. What do you know?
Well, it was a little bit predictable of me, but honestly, this relationship above any other I've seen in video games pretty much has stuck with me in a way others haven't.
It definitely leaves an impact. I'll agree with that. So, all right, Irene, what have you got for me?
So I picked something because like I already left you hanging on the first question, but like I'm just gonna say I'm not really sure I have one. A lot of the time I find romantic subplots in games to be contrived and kind of dumb. Generally, it feels that the characters have little chemistry and they're being forced together for a laugh or some lighthearted diversion. Also, usually the girl in the pairing is a plot device who gets damseled to advance the dude's plotline. So, like, I don't know. A lot of the romances I've seen, like, hinted at in games or, like, pushed forward are, like, insufferably cliche. And I'm like, I don't want to have to. Most of the time, it actually makes me hate both characters more.
And that's fair. A lot of games are really bad at romantic subplots.
Oh my god, they're
And,
so terrible.
and then this is why y'all need to play the Trails games, because that is not a thing here. Estelle is a badass in her own right, and I will probably be discussing her in a future episode.
Yes, dear.
Which is like, it's cool, but like I just find that a lot of them, like even Final Fantasy X, where it was like, this is actually passable. I'm like, it's still not gonna be something to write home about. Because it got a passing grade. It got a C. You know, like it wasn't a horror show where like one character was, a plot device to move the other character's story forward. And like each of them had their hero moments, and like them growing closer was actually important to the story. But it was still very bare minimum. Like there was nothing really special about that. It was like, cool, you actually didn't suck this time. You don't get a prize for the ground floor. Sorry. Anyway, the one pairing I actually did want to talk about, I guess, was if I had to pick one, it would actually be Sir Hammerlock and Wainwright Jacobs from Borderlands 3. So, in Borderlands 2, you're actually told that Hammerlock is gay, which is actually a central part of his character. And in Borderlands 3, they, make good on that by actually informing you that since the events of Borderlands 2, he started seeing the head of the Jacobs Corporation, or Wainwright Jacobs, or is it Jacobs? Either way. So, like, picture a regal English explorer, like, with a pit helmet and everything, with, like, a old-timey Southern gentleman, who are just absolutely fucking adorable together. They get on extremely well, and as they're both NPCs, nobody has to be damseled. Plus, like, they're so cute. The main plot around helping Wainwright secure the Jacobs Corporation from the twins is actually quite heartwarming. You get to actually see them, interact with each other. And, like, they have a relationship that is clearly built on, like, mutual respect and affection, and, they clearly care about one another, and it's really fun to actually hear them talk back and forth.
They're pretty cute.
Awesome.
Yes, Mel! They are cute!
They're pretty cute.
They're the only other person on this podcast who might have had a shot at playing these games.
I'll get through Borderlands 2 someday.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many games. This is the great struggle. Like, there's too much good content.
Exactly. But yes, they're pretty adorable. It's like two dudes with like a time machine went forward and like found each other, because they're like old-fashioned like values, old-fashioned manners, politeness, and yet they're like
Gay.
They're super gay. It's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think actually Jacobs is like, I can't remember if he's blind in one eye or if he's just a terrible shot, but it was actually a big like thing with his, like a big thing in his family, because that's what their guns do. They're extremely accurate and they hit really hard. But he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And I think actually Hammerlock helped him get over that, which was really cute.
Yaw. All right, Mel, we got another pairing. So let's go for it.
Yeah. So again, hard to pick. The one that I decided to go with right now is the Inquisitor and Cullen from Dragon Age. I really like him as a character because he's one of the few kind of like early on in the series we see him in like every game, and he barely matters. He's almost a throwaway character. But as the games go, you sort of get this vision of this guy who's this really sweet Templar trying to do the right thing. And then he kind of has a crush on this mage girl. And then he gets, really, really badly tortured and experiences some horrible stuff with, mages attacking him. And then you get to see him in the second game, and he's got all this trauma, and he's kind of working against the mages. But in the end, he'll side with you and help you. And third game, he's really come to terms with what he did, and he's actively trying to be a better person. He's struggling with his addiction, but he's making like an intentional choice to try to be a better person. And one thing I really liked about their relationship is my character at one point debated becoming a Templar as well, just for the skill set. And there was a really like good little aside where he talks about how he worries about that for you, but he'll support your decision if that's what you want to do. But he supports you through exploring with thing for you without kind of forcing his own trauma upon you, which I think is really beautiful. And then in the DLC, bad things happen to you, and he is a very supportive partner who helps you through kind of every step of that, knowing how difficult it's going to be. So I think they have a really cute relationship. It's one you can opt into, so you can pick lots of other people, and there are lots of really good relationships in this game, but he kind of got my heart from seeing him grow from that like innocent kid to that damaged person to someone who's trying to do the right thing. And even insisting early in the game when people are trying to start fights that like he's not a Templar, they're not Templars, they're not doing this anymore, they're going to be something new and better. I really like that. I think they're really cute too. And one of them's me, so I mean, I don't know, I feel like I can't say much about the Inquisitor because
My only sad thing was that I couldn't romance him. Like, I was like, cool, I'm gonna romance Cullen this time. It's like, oh, but you has a penis. Sorry. And I was like, oh shit.
yeah, they do the thing. I think he won't date Kunari either.
No,
So.
he's obligatory straight.
Yeah.
Straight human or elf woman. He won't even like dwarves or Kunari are out. He's actually got like the like one of the most narrow romantic fields in the game, considering there's like basically everyone is bisexual unless otherwise stated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely he is. I kind of like how they play with that, where they don't make every character, because they tried that in like 2 to make just everyone bisexual, and I kind of like that everyone sort of has something for themselves. Like I really love Dorian, and I probably would have dated him.
Oh my god, Dorian!
But I don't have a penis, so here we are, best friends forever.
I gave my Inquisitor a penis to date Dorian.
I do not blame you. I debated it.
All righty. So one last question for our Valentine's Day special. What is your favorite non-canon RPG pairing? So you guys can ship to the moon here, people. This is totally whatever you want. This can include selectable romance options. I know, Mel, you just kind of did that one already, but at this point, the sky's the limit. So we'll get on that. Mine, if I had to pick anybody, it took me a while, but I picked Haseo and Pi from .hack GU. There are 2 reasons for this. The first reason, fuck Adelie.
Oh, God. Yes, forever fuck Adelie.
My second reason, well, fuck Adelie? There's really no up and down on this, but like really, in all seriousness, if you really, really think about it, Haseo and Pi have very similar personalities. They're both very rough around the edges, and that was apparent right from their first meeting when she saved him from Bordeaux's gang. And then throughout your email communication with her, you 2 warm up to the point where she eventually actually tell you her real name. Like at that point, there was something there, but just the anger and the hatred towards each other originally, they basically mirrored off of each other, and in my opinion, they just deserved each other.
Yeah, their initial problems were solely because they were so similar.
We are exactly the same. We will fight forever. Fight to the death.
One of 2 things happens with people like that. They either fight or they fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially both, actually.
Potentially both, yeah.
Yep. Funny enough, we just finished watching an old episode of Deep Space Nine, and that was essentially what happened. It was glorious.
It's kind of true.
Yeah. All right, Sky, what's your non-canon pairing?
I am going to go with the ultimate power couple, Akihiko and Mitsuru from Persona 3. They have so much badass chemistry together. How are they not already together? Like, I wish they hadn't done all that crap about Mitsuru's and arranged engagement and all that nonsense. I wish they just let the two get together and rule the frickin' world as the two glorious, intelligent peas in a pods that they are. Because you know they would. Like,
Yeah,
they
they're
are the
so cute together and they're so compatible in the way that they lead you together. Yeah, I'm with you.
yeah, they're two peas in a pod. They're if they could actually like properly concentrate on their school life, like they would be king and queen of that school. You can totally see it. So yeah, that's who I'm going for because why is it not a thing?
That is an incredibly fair question. All right, Irene, you're up. What do you got for me?
So I went with more Dragon Age Inquisition content, the Inquisitor and Iron Bull. And this is because, for once in video games history, almost, it actually portrayed a half-decent, it was a half-decent portrayal of an actually healthy BDSM relationship in a video game. Plus, the scenes you get are both touching and hysterical. And Iron Bull is just, he's a very interesting character. So he has this group that, like, are his elite mercenary force, right? And they're full of, like, crooks and criminals and anybody he, thinks has a shot, essentially. But one of the people that that's included in this group is actually a trans guy named Kern. And he will not hear one shitty thing spoken against Kern ever. Like, he gives zero fucks what is actually underneath the armor. He treats him like any other dude, which is actually really cool.
Good.
Oh yeah.
He's the most amazing ally. He's like the bestest friend. He's so great.
He really is. And like the first time like you manage to romance him, he shows up in your room and he's like, "So, I hear what you're putting down. You want to ride the bull. Well, okay. So this is how this is going to work." And he teaches you, like, gives you a crash course in safe words and how everything is going to go between like the two of you essentially. And is like very clear that he'll honor any kind of like consent that you give or consent that you withdraw. Iron Bull is just, it's a really fun relationship. Also, there is a scene where after you two are done fucking, basically the entire Inquisition walks in on you, and they all can't stop staring at his junk.
It is one of the best scenes in any BioWare game. It is so good.
It is. Like, Cullen walks in, he's like, "Dude, Jesus Christ." And Josephine walks in and she's like, "Oh, I can't make my legs move."
Josie just stands there staring at it.
Oh yeah, she's like, "I can't." Liliana's like, "Don't you," like, he's like, "Don't you have work to do?" And she's like, "I can't make my legs move. Why can't I not make my legs?" They're all like freaking the fuck out. And Iron Bull's just like, "Cool, get everyone in here. Jesus." He's really crabby by like the third person who walks through the door. Cause like basically all of your like all of your handlers want to see you at the exact same moment. So they all just barge in without knocking, and he's just like, "Yeah, sure, just like invite the whole castle."
I mean, that's what I'd do.
He's a little bit annoyed by it, but the best part about it is like eventually you get the option of actually taking that relationship from like, just like sex to actually romantic. But to do it, it's probably the most difficult quest of any of the like romantic subplot quests in the game. 'Cause you gotta kill a dragon. Yep.
That's one way to get someone to fall in love with you, just saying.
Okay, the traditional Kunari like token of affection and like basically their equivalent of like an engagement ring or like something that would, show undying affection is a dragon tooth charm. So you gotta go get a tooth. You have to go pull it out of a dragon. Which,
So
ironic.
that's real easy.
Oh, yeah. It's really easy. You just walk over to the local dragon and say, hey, can I have a tooth? Unfortunately, that means that, I've taken him to fight dragons, and, while he's effective against dragons, nah, Cassandra. Cassandra is easily the best dragon slayer out of all of them, because late game, she just becomes a wall. It's just unkillable wall. The entire party will be dead, and she's just this is going to be a long fight, because I don't do a shit ton of damage, but that thing is not actually able to hurt me. It's pretty incredible. Iron Bull doesn't have quite the same amount of survivability, but he hits really hard. It's his motto is definitely the best offense the best defense is a good offense,
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, Mel, you have one last pairing for us.
So I'm going to go with a weird one here because I was going to say Akihiko and Mitsuru too. So I really always liked the idea that Tenenbaum and Fontaine from BioShock had a past history. Not because I want them together as a couple. I think he's a horrible monster and she's also probably a horrible monster. But I think it really adds something to the story that they have this history that really impacts the ways that you get to make decisions and the way that you interact with both of them, because the two of them are probably the main characters you meet in the story, and they're on opposite sides of this huge division of how you deal with Adam and how you act with these little sisters. And the only choice you're given in the game is whether or not you hurt them, and the fact that he leaves that kind of to you, I don't know, it just makes me question what's going on there. And then that they're on the other side of this war and they might kill each other because that's what they believe in. Just, I know, I really like it. It speaks to me.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't gotten myself into the BioShock series, so I don't know too much about it myself. But I know it just came up free on PSN, so I'll get to it someday, maybe.
Right? Whole series on PSN this month. So if you're listening, take advantage.
Yeah,
the first two are definitely worth playing. Infinite, take it or leave it, but BioShock 1 is kind of it's one of those games that's a bit of a masterpiece at this point.
Mm-hmm. There's a few things you can improve. In BioShock 2, you get to dual wield, which instantly makes any game better. But you can't beat the plot in the main game and the back and forth between these political groups and what they believe in and what happened and kind of uncovering the story. It's just, real good.
So, folks who haven't played it, would you kindly go buy BioShock? It's free on PSN.
If you're PS Plus, of course, remember that. But all right, so that's gonna do it for our Valentine's special. It's been fun. It's been romantic. Hopefully, we got you in the mood, or at least a mood. Whichever works best, I don't mind. But yeah, let us know some of your favorite pairings or some of your favorite romantic plots. You can find me on Twitter at Billionaires XP. You can also find me on Instagram at Rafe Thegram, or you can check me out streaming Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, also at Rafe Thegram on Twitch. Sky, where can everyone find you?
I'm at SkyKnightXP on Twitter and Twitch, skyknight.xp on Instagram, and I stream on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern.
And Irene, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at irogue_xp on Twitter and Twitch. I usually stream on Thursdays at 7.
Yeah. And Mel, where can everyone find you?
So on all the social medias, you can find me at Feminist Gamer, or you can check out my D&D actual play, Darkness and Dragons, and we're on Twitch, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Awesome. Fantastic. And for our quickfire reviews, our stream schedules, normally we would say this is where we'll find our current transcripts. But if you want to backtrack and listen to some of our old or read some of our old transcripts from previous episodes, please do so. Give the XP Hobo a little bit more love and make sure to follow them still. XP_Hobo. they'll still be active with what we do again. So don't worry about that. And lastly, our monthly newsletter for February will be up on our coffee page. Should be there before this goes live. So definitely check that out. Coffee.com/XP Billionaires. Please feel free to send us a coffee if you like what we're doing. And if not, just share what we do with your friends. We love it all. All right. So that's going to be it for us this week. And if you guys want to be our Valentine this year, all you got to do is keep gaming. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.